Alright, let's call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. on April 23rd, 2024. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. What happened?
Oh, I said, I guess we need to change that.
Yeah, so we're not reading the minutes any longer. So what we're doing is we're coming in individually as the select board and reading over the minutes and approving them. And then you're always welcome to grab a copy. We really like the detailed minutes for record keeping, but it does add quite a bit of time to the meeting. So if you want a copy of the minutes, they're always available. Plus the video will be online as well. And once they're approved, they will be posted on the website. So that's why we're not reading the minutes any longer. But obviously they're still available, and they've been reviewed. We also reviewed warrant 23, expenses $40,957.09, receipts $18,676.06. Percent of 2023 real estate taxes collected year to date is 87%.
You also need to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Oh, that's correct. You're right. So I would like to make a motion that we approve the minutes that we reviewed.
Second.
All in favor? And I have a copy to sign, right? Somewhere? Should I?
Yes, I believe I have
That's
it.
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it.
This one?
Yes. I guess it's just gonna be you, because Phil wasn't here,
I
right?
wasn't here, no.
Right.
Although I did review them, but I wasn't here for these
So that will require Joel's signature.
terms.
Thank you. Is that the right one?
Yeah, you do.
Nice. All right. So open session. Do we have anything from the public for open session that is not on the agenda? Okay. Ms. Chapman,
Okay,
would you like to give us a report?
I feel really awkward standing here. Let me go.
No, that's fine.
There, I'll stand over here. Okay, then I can see everybody better. So we have not met as a school board since the last meeting that you all had, and Joel gave you a briefing from things. So nothing has changed since then, but tomorrow we do have committee meetings at Buckfield High School. Those are at 6:30. They're always, no they're not, like 4:30, then 5:30. 4 o'clock, then 5 o'clock, then 6 o'clock. So if anybody ever wants to attend those, the committee meetings are open to the public, but tomorrow will be at the high school in Buckfield. And then the following meeting that we would have had last night, but our schedule is a little funky right now in the whole budget season. That will be happening next Monday night, and it will also be at Buckfield. So if anybody would like to come, again, it starts at 6:30. And that the board will be taking the actual vote for the agreed upon numbers for the budget finalization, which was this sheet of paper that you can have a look at later if you would like, but this is what they come up with every year to determine what's the district average for the percent increase, and then how does it break down per towns. So our town is at a 9.1% increase over last year. The district was 7.65% as compared to last year. A lot of the towns, a lot of the districts in the state of Maine are seeing really, really high increases, as much as 10% overall. Buckfield is going to be at 12% this year increase, so that's going to hit the budgets hard. But if anybody wants to come for an information session about that, that will also be at Buckfield High School. And we need to add this to the agenda because it's not included here, but at this bottom part down in here, you might wanna take your pens and add in, that May 20th at Buckfield Junior Senior High School at 6:30 will be the budget presentation by the superintendent. So 6:30, May 20th, it's a Wednesday. That's to help the public ask questions and really understand all the nuts and bolts of what's going on with the budget. And then the Monday following that, May 29th at 6:30, at the Mountain Valley High School Muskie Auditorium is when the annual budget meeting takes place. And that functions like the annual town meeting that we have in our town, but this is for the whole district. So if you do not like something that you see in the budget and you wanna have a vote on that, May 29th at 6:30 at the Muskie Auditorium at Mountain Valley High School is the time when every citizen across the district gets to come in and speak to that. That is when everything is finalized prior to the, when the towns go out to vote on June 11th, right? It's June 11th, okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else unless anybody has any questions. Did the bridge, not the bridge, the guardrail get repaired on, Toole Hill Road?
Oh, yeah,
Did not?
No.
Okay.
haven't heard a word about it.
So the Building, Grounds and Transportation Committee meeting is happening tomorrow at Buckfield High School. I will make sure that I
Bring it up again.
bring it up again to
Okay.
Devin. He had said that he had been in touch with the contractor.
That's
It
right.
was supposed to be at the end of March, by the end of March,
Yeah.
that should have been repaired, but
Yes, yep,
now we're nearing the end of April.
yep.
We'll find out what's going on there.
Okay, good.
Okay, very good.
Awesome, thank you. CEO LPI report, I spoke with Fred on Tuesday. He is still recovering from his surgery. He's still pretty lame. He only goes good for a couple hours, then he has to go home and rest. So we have a couple of issues for him to work on when he gets back, and he's also going to be helping us with some ordinance things that we'll discuss later on down here in new business. But that's where we're at with Fred Collins in the reports. Doug, fire department.
Is that a car donated to us for extrication and car fires?
That one out there, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys feel about us using the pit down here for training. Probably gonna be a little bit of glass and whatnot there.
Yeah, probably go way out back,
Yeah. Get it back there as far as you can.
and then we can just push
Cover it
the
up after.
remains.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sounds good?
Yep.
Thank you.
Roads report, Mr. Corson.
Okay, I've got the grader out, I got everything pretty well graded up. I got Mobile Farm Road up to do, up in Reading, I gotta do that. And Berdeen Road, but Berdeen Road's still pretty wet, so I'm waiting on that one. We've graded them up pretty good, and I've run a rock rake over them, getting the berm out, trying to get some of the stuff back into the road, and they're coming out real good. I have done some patching, got the big hole, major holes filled in, I still gotta go around and get the little ones.
The hot patch.
The hot patch, yep.
Yep.
Yep. And pretty soon we're gonna start in digging.
And you're getting the culverts ordered?
I just got the culverts ordered, and half the order has showed up today,
Oh, okay.
and came from Bethel, what's it called?
Oh, from,
Yep, they were the cheapest.
Worley?
Yep.
Good. Oh, yeah, the name's escaping me at the moment. but-
Cross
Cross,
excavation?
yeah.
No,
it's
Western Maine.
Western Maine
West
Supply.
Main Supply.
First main supply.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got a big culvert order, and that should be good for the year.
Did you grade Black Mountain? How
Black Mountain, I have not.
you had?
No,
you left it
Didn't
It don't look real bad yet.
don't look bad.
Oh, yeah.
Good. So that held up through the winter. I was
Yeah,
just
it
curious.
does have to have a grader sometime, yeah.
All right, you wanna
Yeah,
hit the
go ahead.
ACO?
Sean,
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Sean, who takes care of the ramp over on Pleasant Pond, that Sumner access?
Nobody, that's private.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Huh. I thought that was a public access for the pond.
Never had that.
Interesting.
Are you talking about the boat launch?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's, what did Tanya call it? She looked into it. It's permissible trespass. So it's owned by whoever owns it, but they allow people
to use it.
to use it.
Because I have been asked quite a few times if we could donate a load of gravel to it.
It's a little bit of a drop off.
It's not ours. So,
Yeah.
don't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
ACO report?
ACO, busy. Animals are out on the run. I have,
This spring.
yeah, it is spring. I got like 4 dogs that I'm trying to catch now, trying to get a relationship with them so they'll trust me and come to me. And I got, and 4 cats. There's 4 cats and 1 dog on Greenwood Road that the guy has abandoned them. They had a sheriff go into the house yesterday and nobody's there. So sometime I've gotta get 4 cats and a dog out of there, working on it.
What kind of dog is it, Sean?
I believe it's a chocolate lab and something else in it. I think I'll get a relationship with it pretty quick. Yep, I'm good with dogs.
He hasn't had dogs there that much since we've lived here. So.
The dog is in really good shape still, so I've been taking food and water up to it, and hopefully I can catch it here right off. And that's about it.
Alright. Nothing on forms, reports, correspondence?
I
Nope.
got one.
Something? Got something?
I got an email today from Maine Waste to Energy.
Oh,
I
okay,
forwarded
yeah,
it
I
to
did.
Diane
Yeah, I did get that.
about the,
We need
Contact.
we need somebody to be
Yeah.
on it.
so that they can get theirs. There have to be a majority of the towns that are owners of the Maine Waste to Energy present for the June meeting, so they're trying to get their information together.
You want to volunteer for that, or?
You get a
For the-
meal, you
for
get a
the-
meal at,
Oh, you get a meal?
Yeah, no,
Every time
I'll
you
take
go.
that.
You'll take that? Oh,
I'll
okay.
take that on.
Okay, I'll email him back that
Okay.
will be.
Okay, it's in Auburn then?
yeah, it meets at the Maine Waste to Energy
Energy
site on,
facility.
He
Okay.
said it was gonna be the
Open.
first Thursday in June, was his thought.
yeah, it's usually the first, but they'll put out a notice like a week ahead and.
We have something on the 8th. I don't know. 8th and something.
That's Saturday.
Oh, okay.
It's usually well, I don't remember what day of the week it usually is, but it's.
Yeah.
It doesn't give a specific day, it just says on our coming up in June, we'll need each town present to vote on our new budget. We just need an email from the town with contact information.
Yeah, he called me again today too, and that's when he told me it was gonna be the first Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
It's the 6th.
so,
You can also tell them, Diane, to take my name off, cause I keep getting emails.
alright, new business, LD 2003. So I'll kind of just touch base with the other one down here. This is planning board special meetings coming up this Thursday, 4/25/24, and then also we scheduled a meeting on 4/30/24 to address ordinances pertaining to mobile home park moratorium, revision on a dog ordinance, the solar ordinance that has been pending for 18 months now probably, and the other thing is addressing LD 2003, which is the additional dwelling unit that's law statute that's legislature passed and will be going into effect July 1st, correct? So you can get that on maine.gov, I would assume, get the actual. So what we're thinking is we can either govern ourselves as a town or we can let the state govern us with additional dwelling units, depending on acreage, and there's all sorts of stuff in there regarding to, septics, bedrooms, bathrooms, the whole deal, to make more affordable housing in the state. So they will be addressing that also in the planning board meeting on this coming Thursday, which I will do my best to attend that as well.
What time, it doesn't say a time?
They
we
meet at 6.
Meet at 6, yeah,
Meet
I'm
at
trying to
6,
make
right.
everything at 6. That's the attempt.
So that's the new law that changes our lot size and.
Right, yeah. How many additional dwelling units you can have
Yeah.
per lot, yeah.
Per lot.
So they've looked at several other towns to see what they've done to address that situation. So depending on the size, you could have, if I'm not mistaken, the state said you could have up to 4 additional
It's either 4 or 5.
dwelling
I think
units
you're right.
per lot.
4 additional.
For
5
2
total,
acre
yeah.
lot?
Right.
Gonna make a city out of Sumner.
Everywhere. You gotta put them somewhere, right? So we're gonna work on that this Thursday evening, and then again on the 30th if we need it. And the dog ordinance is basically you want to do a schedule with potential fines, correct? Tell me if I'm wrong. So that way it's not just up in the air. And the other thing is the current ordinance says that it needs to be on a leash or under voice command, and the argument is who defines what a voice command is being followed, correct?
Yeah.
It just leaves a little bit of a gray area where someone could say, well, he was under my control while he was jumping on your car, or vice, all those possibilities. So that's the revisions that are going to be possibly made to the ordinance. And then the solar ordinance has just been in moratorium, been waiting to actually go to a public hearing and the town vote. So,
Has a public hearing been set?
not technically, no. It was actually, we were thinking about today based on the time frames of if we have to make revisions, and it has to have 17 days, if I'm correct, before it can go to, but it just, we weren't able to get the planning board to get any of this completed to do the whole hearing. So we're gonna be hopeful that there isn't any revisions needed when our time will. Yes, right. I mean, the solar ordinance I think is pretty cut and dry. It only benefits the town, unless you happen to, own a solar company that does, big commercial jobs. Dog ordinance, I don't know, maybe.
Seems minor to me.
It seems minor. The only thing that I could possibly see, so the good thing is it'll spell out the first offense on your dog thing is whatever is $100 or whatever, and then it goes up, and because right now the range is just 0 to 500. Right?
Exactly.
50
So-
to 500.
It's 50 to 500 is the range right now. So we just basically want to set it so if Sean gives you the warning and you don't adhere to it, and he has to come back out and actually apply a fine to your situation, it's set, you're paying $100 the first time, comes back again, it's $250 or $500. So the only thing I could see people pushing back on is the actual, well, I can keep my dog under control with the whole leash part.
And that's also, just to point out, that's only if they're not on your property.
Correct.
Your dog's on your property. It doesn't
Yes,
need to be-
yes, sorry, I should have said that.
No, no,
Thank you
I'm
for
just-
clarifying. Yep. So yeah, that is if you're just, out walking your dog that's not on your property, or your dog's, run off or whatever. But, so, that's the only thing I could possibly see for a snag with that. And, as far as the mobile home park moratorium, the thought process is where Butterfield Estates has sold, and previously, before it sold, there was only 5 or 6 mobile homes in there, and now it's full, and they're gonna be getting those ready to rent out this spring. And so the moratorium, we just basically want to look at putting a mobile home park. So I mean, really right now there's nothing stopping anybody else other than a subdivision ordinance to, from putting in another mobile home park, really. So that with the fact that 80 or 90% of mobile home parks in the state of Maine are owned from out-of-state people, whatever entities, companies, just individual investors. I think it would be in our best interest to have our own ordinance in place where we'd have some, some say in what goes on and happens, regardless of who owns it. So that's what those things are. Is there any questions?
So just to clarify, the public hearing is going to cover all 4 of those items?
Correct.
And those will be going on to the warrant for the annual town meeting?
Right.
And then that will finalize everything. No more moratoriums. It'll be, these are the actual 4 ordinances.
I don't know. We'll see how the mobile home park things. That's just getting onto the scope. The other 3 definitely. I don't know if the mobile home. We'll see after Thursday's meeting. Well, that's our attempt.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Now, if I can just, when we were talking about the town meeting, should we contact Terry Hayes sooner?
I already
Yeah.
did.
I
You
think
already did?
Honestly, I
She's
think
on
we.
vacation
Okay.
until the 3rd, so we won't hear back from her until after the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure, if memory serves, after the last meeting, we actually scheduled this with her, and this was her only Saturday that she didn't already have a town meeting, was June 22nd, so I believe that's why we used that day.
Okay.
If my memory is correct.
Good.
Terry, you had a question?
Yeah, what warrants a mobile home park? 3, 4,
Good
6?
question.
Yeah, that's why we need
That's
to.
a good question. So
That's what it will.
currently, I don't know how that one was completely established. I don't know all the ins and outs. That one has, if I'm not mistaken, 16 lots in there, 16
Right.
mobile homes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
So-
the state, at this point, the state statutes is
we
what
follow
control.
whatever the
So that
state.
you can
Yeah,
see that if there's a limit, it would be there.
right.
Okay.
So
Thanks,
yeah.
Marianne.
we want to get that, nailed out. So the other question that was asked at the last meeting was, are we going to put an ordinance committee together, or how is that going to all work? And Joel had mentioned he would talk to Don Barry. So I was at the meeting. I asked him. Don was probably a little more reluctant than the rest of the planning board to be the one to actually work on the ordinance, because historically what ends up happening is people put a lot of blood, sweat, and tear into writing an ordinance and doing all these things, and the town votes it down. So a lot of times, you'll put hours and hours and, do all your due diligence, write this, what you feel is a great ordinance, and then the town just basically wants to be free to do whatever it wants to do. So Don was a little reluctant to even want to do that, but the rest of the planning board was okay, so that's why they agreed to work on it. So we can't even fully fill up the vacancies on the planning board, so I don't think making a whole ordinance committee is probably gonna work. So that's where we're at on that. Hub agreement for GWI. Do you have some?
Yeah, I got I'm sure Mary Ann has it also, the latest, and it's the same one as before, and I've got some feelers out. It's basically what this states is they're willing to pay whatever applicable taxes will be for the scope of the site. But as far as the lease deal, they're just saying that the internet and telephone for this building would be $175. So they're taking that $175 and using that as their base for their monthly fee.
For their rent, basically.
For their rent on the space. So I do believe, I haven't dug into it completely, but I believe that, so in the future, if your rates went up, then also their rate for their lease would go up correspondingly. But it doesn't sound like a lot of money, it doesn't sound like a very good deal for the town at this point. And I have feelers out, and I should have some information coming in this week from other networks that put in these huts and they're willing to share what their typical agreement and lease amount is. So that at least we have something to compare that offer to. Because that just, well, and I may be wrong, but that doesn't seem like much money. I mean, $175 for
Right, it's a 50, so just so everyone's
For
aware,
50.
it's a 50-year lease. So that will be on the property down, they got 2 proposed sites, which we should probably show you. One is to the left of the sand pile, kind of like where Jeremy set his personal sand, and the other would be behind the salt shed.
Do you have the printout there of the sites?
Pardon? I might have it
You
on,
have-
I don't have it
you
printed out.
no, they
I have it
actually,
on
they
email.
just, and I don't think that I brought it with me. But, did you get that from them, this agreement? And it just
Well,
showed,
I didn't see the agreement, I just saw the
they had
saw
two
this.
pictures of
Yes.
the,
Yeah.
of the sand, yeah, so it.
So it'd be
Is it-
either,
So
Well,
what in
The color.
terms of dealing with
yellow and
the one at the
blue.
road, right closer to the road seems
I don't like that area. I thought you guys were gonna go down this road and do it out
Would
back
be-
from there.
closer, there would be less impinging on the
No.
activities in the sand pit if you were right at the road.
right.
Yeah, they're talking about to the left of the pit, you've
Mhm.
got that small tree line,
Mm-hmm,
and the road, there's a old ATV trail there,
mm-hmm.
right in that area.
Hmm.
So that's what they're
Or
looking
their,
at,
or their other option was that,
was behind the salt shed.
I really don't wanna share any of that.
gotcha.
I ain't got enough room there now.
I
So
hear,
it's they're talking about 1,000 square feet, so
That's a big area.
Do we know what is the setup with First Light? So First Light has a hub at the end of Bonnie Road. What's the deal with that? Did they buy that land? Do they pay taxes on it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, they have a few of them around, one up by the cemetery. That's another one.
But they're right on the side of the road, and they
They-
don't take up a lot of
they aren't the
space, so
same
they're not
type-
the
it's
same
not the
type
same
of thing, I
thing.
don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
yeah, that would say, they didn't
Yeah,
need any
that's-
setbacks to that, did they?
no, that's like a little switching station, there's one
Yeah.
right at the
I
end of
think all
Lower
they
Sumner
have is
Hill.
the switching stations, I don't think
Yeah.
there's a hub.
No, there's another one down
But the
there.
one at the end of Bonnie Road is a sizable building,
Right.
right at the end of the road. So did the town just allow them to put that there, or do they
I
pay
have no
rent,
idea.
or?
Well, the one, that
That
one's
one's
been there
been-
forever.
Mm.
That is, so it wasn't necessarily
Oh,
internet, just.
Oh, yeah, that was, you're right,
was
that was back when it was not First Light, that was
Right.
back before,
Oxford
Maine
Networks
Selectboard
was
Meeting,
actually.
it was Oxford Telephone.
yeah.
But yeah, there's
Mom,
another
Bell,
right
put it
across
in.
from the cemetery in Sumner, by Denny Stevens there.
Yeah.
You know, before you pitch down the hill,
Yep.
you turn right.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. So the $175, that's the equivalent to the. So what if you decided not to use them for internet and phone here? Do they pay you actually $175?
Yeah, I believe that's
Okay.
what they would do, they'd pay the extra $175.
I was just curious.
So it works out to be at $2,100 a year. It works out to be $105,000 for 50 years. So I perused through the lease agreement. That seems pretty much straightforward. But I did ask him where the 175. Was it Tom Gilmore?
Yes,
I asked him in an email where the $175 came from, if that was just customary. And he said the 175 monthly payment is what we had worked out for our other hut site. We are open to discussing the rate and finding what would be mutually beneficial for both the town and GWI. Please let me know what you have in mind. We can go from there. So I just basically, thought if we were gonna have, nothing against GWI, but if we're gonna have to have it on the town property, the town should make as much money as they can.
As possible.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just,
and,
So is your communication really nailed down that they don't want to do a lease with a private landowner?
they,
that's the impression I'm getting. I
Yeah.
don't think that fully.
unless
said no.
they may have sent off this contract to him also, to see if he would be
So it's
interested in
John,
doing
right,
that.
doing that?
Yeah, I think
So
that is.
the piece that I thought they were talking about was the one between his rental property and the sand pit. There is a small lot.
Oh.
Yeah, it says for rent on it.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that says for rent.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And it's less than an acre,
and that would have been appropriate, yeah.
Right. And
and, cause it's non-buildable. So
and they
I-
could use it for their staging to go out and, rather than lease Lucas across the street, they could,
Yeah.
you know, rent that.
Well,
But I'm not running their business, so.
right, so I don't know what I should probably get back.
I
to
know that they contacted him, they were talking with him, but,
We don't know what has happened.
I have no idea.
I'll reach out to him again.
Um,
So I think to me, that would be,
That would be ideal.
Right.
But they would rather deal with a municipality than they would with a private dwelling, private ownership of land. And that was, because I mentioned that to him. I said, gee, there's probably a lot of people around who, you know, break off a piece and, you know, for a very amount of money.
but it's not a site that anything else can happen on.
Right.
Well, with this new,
I don't know how you do anything in
With-
there if it's less than an acre and.
well,
you gotta
LD,
have
this new,
Septic and all the rest of it.
this new LD, what is it, LD?
2000.
Doesn't matter.
2003, you could put 2 units on it.
If you can get 2 septics and 2 wells and in an acre, less than an acre.
And a lot of it is, so you can actually just add on to an existing septic
Yeah.
for these ADUs.
And onto your own house.
Yeah.
Add an additional
So you
dwelling.
can add, it's,
I think my understanding, I haven't read the law, it just seems like they're looking at what municipalities much larger than ours in terms of low-income housing.
yeah, you know,
Really
the
didn't
other,
think about what the impacts would be on the rural.
you know,
communities.
the only other state that I've heard of that's doing this ADU? California.
Yeah.
Almost the same.
Well, we're bookend.
That's right, yeah, yeah.
Can I just clarify, you're talking about LD 2003, right?
Yes.
Right now, currently?
Yes.
And so our surrounding towns have already built something in place, they have an
Right.
ordinance in place.
Yeah,
Is
you
it
had
of
sent
the-
us Hartford's and
Yes,
somebody
so-
else's. Yeah.
Is it then of the opinion of our town that we would like to do similarly?
Correct.
Create an ordinance to protect from that? Okay,
Right.
I just
Yep.
wanna make sure, cause I was not sure how things were going within the meeting here, but.
Yep.
That's good to get that clarification.
That's the hope, the plan.
Can I get that?
And it
can I
has-
get
and
that
we
before
have-
July
It
1st?
has to be done at town meeting, whatever ordinance they come up with to, you know,
Yeah.
circumvent that or whatever, it has to be approved at town meeting, because July 1st, that goes into law.
We can't sidestep it by putting a moratorium or something.
Not to my knowledge.
So also now, with Sean's concern about giving up space over there, if we're gonna have to make some sort of decision whether that, takes away that area for, GWI also. So if that option's not viable, then,
Right, the 2 sites that they have, we'll have to give them the site.
Is our space in that acreage that we own back getting filled? Do we have stuff that's filling in that?
Yeah, it's getting
more
filled, but
ground
there's still a
space?
lot of room out back here. That goes long
oh,
ways
there's
back.
27 acres there,
Yeah.
something like that, I think.
And that's
Maybe
what
I
I
can-
originally thought was gonna go down that road and was gonna put it out back here somewhere.
You available tomorrow? Maybe we can go take a quick
Yeah.
look.
And actually, if the map shows, you know, what would 1,000 square feet look like?
Right.
In reality, you know,
Right, that would be good.
really.
Yeah.
Be able to see it marked out or.
So yeah, let's just look at that real quick tomorrow, and that way we can give that Tom guy, tell him this is his option if he wants.
Okay, they were also interested in the property, the Newton property across from the school, but that's not viable at this point.
Alright.
Do we have anything else that we own along 219? Do we have any other properties on 219?
Not to my knowledge. The only other one that made sense in my mind, but it's way out there, is the little fire department shack on Greenwood Road. I mean, that's like the perfect size, and it's right there. But
But they didn't like it.
They didn't like it.
yeah, I bet that would be a long ways out of their way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to be on the main line.
Yeah, because they're trying to get that one main line in to work off from. So,
Jesse, I had a question.
yes.
Every time a new network comes into town, does that mean that there's another heavy line on the pole?
So when they were here the other day, a couple meetings ago, they will be overbuilding some of it, and some of it they will be using existing, correct? In fact, so some of it they will be putting a whole nother set of lines in, and some of it they will actually be piggybacking off of First Light. And, right? Is that how?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Everything
That was
they
all
put
new
in
line.
is new.
All
Okay,
All
I
lines.
misunderstood what he said. I thought
All new
some of
lines.
it they were doing shared. So
No.
yes, they will be putting up new
Heavy
lines.
might be a,
And then at the last meeting I was at, I know when we met with GWI, I was looking for this email that I got from them, and as you know, GWI is going to be constructing fiber network from Buckfield to West Paris. And that's why this location, and I mentioned to them at the meeting, but I couldn't find the email, this location in Sumner is so beneficial to them. That's why I thought that when he asked what difference does it make? Well, it makes a difference in our negotiating.
Right.
Power.
So,
right.
so what'll end
Thank
up
you.
happening through that meeting that we were at, that they came here, this line will service some of West Paris up Tool Town. Is it Tool Town?
I'm not sure what
I think it's up Tool Town. He had a map drawn out with what the lines were going to do, and it will go into some of West Paris. I think it's Tool Town,
Yeah.
not Tool Hill. Tool Hill
Town.
Sumner. So
Yeah.
it's Tool
Yeah.
Town, and it will service some of that end of West Paris.
and the crossover, Kittredge and back in that area.
Estes Road and
Well, the Estes on the north side, but
Yeah.
there's another road that goes into West
Kitchen
Paris.
Brook.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So
That's decommissioned. They would put poles and lines through there, and then
they
they'd have to maintain it.
Good luck with
yeah, so they have to seek the landowner's permission for that too. So that was another hurdle that they haven't.
It's kind of down, that's the third of their one,
Right. The first one is to get the hub established. The next one will be to build the main line, and then they're going to deal with those two issues. How that gets resolved, I have no idea.
there's
You
four
know.
roads that are, two of which are really in Sumner and two of which are kind of adjacent
Yeah.
for poles would need to be in to connect.
Yeah. So when that question was asked, it was basically we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. How to deal with those putting poles on private property and get that squared away. But they couldn't get to that point if they don't have a hub and they don't have the main line. So. Any other questions? Right. So I guess old business efficiency grant update, Marion Hexton Lighting, everything
I think the last thing that Don's working on is on the outside.
just
2 or 3
outside stuff
outlets.
still.
So he submitted the quarterly report and and I have his estimate. I don't know if he hasn't turned in his bill to you directly, Diane, yet, but I have a copy of it. And so when he's done with those 2 or 3 lights, then we'll submit that report.
It may not fall under the grant, but I talked with Don about the front of putting a motion detected light there. Because as you know, when you're closing up the,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it will. I think it will.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's
All right.
covering the bases on that one.
All right, upcoming events. The Ladies Auxiliary is receiving donations in memory of Betty Walder for the auxiliary is selling raffle tickets for a handmade quilt, which is in the office. It was created by Nancy Newton. Tickets are $1 each, or $5 for $5 for 6 tickets. The drawing will be held June 1st, 2024. RSU budget presentation and discussion at the Buckfield Junior High School.
No,
Junior-
that's different.
That's different?
Yeah,
So it's
so
all
May
So it's-
20th is
Sorry,
the
yep,
discussion for public to come and ask questions.
yep, and then the 29th is the actual
May 29th is when the public comes and votes.
on the actual
All the
budget.
residents in Mountain Valley High School auditorium can come. This upcoming Monday is April 29th. That's a regularly scheduled board meeting. And just the board will be voting on that and it's going to pass. I mean, there's nothing new that's going to be happening
Yep.
here. But May 20th is the info session and May 29th is when the annual RSU 10 budget meeting takes place.
And that is 6:30 for the 29th, is it 6:30 also for the 20th?
Yes, yes.
So it's 6:30 p.m. All right. Nomination papers for the select board member and road commissioner, both 3-year terms needed to be returned to the office by today.
They both happen.
They both have been. And the scholarship application due April 30th, 2024. Date of the town meeting, Saturday, June 22nd, 2024. Is there anything I've missed?
I don't think so, but Kristen,
Yes.
what was the dollar amount on that 9%? Did you have that yet, or is that still in the works? Just a ballpark, I was just curious how that's gonna affect that budget.
I have given this to Diane and
Oh, okay.
Sue, so the budget committee should have this information
They do.
already.
Yeah,
It increases our budget this year by over 80,000 just for school.
all right.
It's over
okay.
$1 million.
Ours is not over
Curious.
$1 million that we're thinking.
No, she's not. Different.
Mill rate.
Mill
She's
rate.
saying
Mill
like
rate.
1
mil
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah,
the
oh,
mill
okay,
rate.
okay, alright, yes. But,
Different mill.
Different mill. Anything else?
I think we covered it. I make a motion, we adjourn.
Seconded? All in favor? Thank you, everybody.